The Creation of Adam by Michelangelo Buonarroti is one of the most discussed pieces of art in history. Part of the Sistine Chapel's 16th century frescoes, generations have admired and studied these iconic brushstrokes. So walking into the Sistine Chapel a few years back, the last thing Dutch musician Pieter Both wanted was to join that debate. But as he looked at those frescoes, he saw something he thought rather peculiar. Was that red shape behind God a heart? Pieter decided to look into it, and discovered he was not the first to think of a human organ. There is the well-known comparison to the brain, popularized by a physician from Indiana in 1990, and the analogy to the uterus, later proposed by some Italian researchers. Pieter's idea was completely unfounded. He knew to support it he had to dig for proof. He soon found out that Michelangelo knew the human body really inside out. He secretly dissected cadavers for academic research. So Michelangelo knew what the body looked like. But the question remains, why the heart? The Sistine Chapel was commissioned to him by Pope Julius II. Strange, considering their relationship was complicated. Michelangelo, in fact, considered himself a sculptor, not a painter, a detail Julius chose to ignore. After rejecting the commission 3 times, the artist reluctantly accepted and went on to create this iconic work of art, while still adding a personal touch. Like the figure of Zachariah, painted in the image of the Pope himself, where one of the putti is discreetly giving him the Renaissance equivalent of the finger, or the self-portrait he hid in the skin of the martyr Saint Bartholomew. But these small acts of rebellion pointed to a conflict with the Vatican which ran much deeper. As Pieter discovered, Michelangelo was very influenced by the Dominican friar Girolamo da Savonarola, who denounced the corrupted customs of the papal power and was eventually sentenced to death for his beliefs. In his poem May I Love You, Lord, the friar writes, "Your God is everywhere, seek him in your heart. He fills heaven and earth, he fills your heart too." Savonarola posits that God is in everyone's heart, which could explain why, out of all the organs, Michelangelo chose it to carry God's figure. Unfortunately, the artist burned all of his notes and sketches before his death, leaving very little evidence to work with. Nevertheless, Pieter's heartfelt journey could have reopened the discussion. And who knows? Maybe his theory is just a heartbeat away from the truth.